When my father passed away, my world changed forever. He wasn't just my dad, he was my best friend, my mentor, and the one person who always believed in me no matter what. His absence left a silence so deep that even the sound of the city outside our small suburban home in Portland, Oregon felt muted. My name is Ethan Collins, and this story isn't just about loss, it's about love, memory, and a promise I never expected to keep. After Dad's funeral, people came and went. Friends, colleagues, and distant relatives filled the house for days, offering sympathy I couldn't even process. But one person stood quietly near the back of the crowd, Ms. Linda Hart, my dad's closest friend and business partner. She wasn't family, but she had been there through everything. My dad used to say she was the sister he never had. Linda was kind, gentle, and soft-spoken. I remember how her eyes glistened with tears as she hugged me after the service. "Greater than, your father was proud of you, Ethan," she whispered. "He wanted you to chase your dreams, no matter what." At that time, I didn't care about dreams. I was just trying to breathe. Months of silence. After the funeral, the days turned into weeks of numbness. I dropped out of college temporarily. I stopped meeting friends. The house felt empty, like a museum of memories. Dad's coffee mug was still in the kitchen, his jacket still hanging by the door. I couldn't move them, it felt like erasing him. Every now and then, Linda would stop by. She'd bring groceries, check on me, and leave a little note on the fridge. "Greater than, stay strong, kiddo. He'd want you to smile today." Sometimes I'd find small surprises, a plant near the window, a book she said Dad wanted me to read, or a card reminding me of a memory they'd shared from their office days. Slowly, her kindness became a comfort. She didn't treat me like a child who needed pity, she treated me like someone worth saving. The unexpected visit. About 6 months later, Linda called. "Greater than, Ethan, could we talk for a bit? I have something important to share." Her tone was calm but carried weight. I agreed to meet her at the little coffee shop my dad used to love. When I arrived, she was already there, sitting by the window, holding 2 cups of coffee. "Greater than, your dad used to say you'd always order caramel mocha," she smiled softly. For a few moments, we sat in silence, both lost in memory. Then she took a deep breath. "Greater than, Ethan, before your father passed, he made me promise something. It's been on my heart for months, and I can't keep it from you anymore." I felt my heart tighten. "What promise?" "Greater than, he wanted me to help you finish what he started, his scholarship fund for students who can't afford college." I blinked. Dad had talked about that dream for years, helping young people get an education, the same way he once struggled to get his. But he never got to complete it. Linda continued. "Greater than, he left some notes, contacts, and part of the budget in his office. But I can't do it alone. He wanted you to lead it, Ethan. He said it was time for you to take charge of his legacy." The heartbreaking request. Her words felt like both a gift and a burden. "Greater than, he trusted you more than anyone," she said quietly. "He believed you'd make it happen, even if it takes years. I promised him I'd help you, but you have to promise me something too." I looked at her, confused. "Greater than, promise me," she said, "that you'll live your life with purpose, not just to honor him, but to find yourself again." That was her heartbreaking request, not for money, not for a favor, but for me to live. To move forward, to keep his memory alive by building something that would outlast us both. Tears welled up in my eyes. "Greater than, I promise," I whispered. A new beginning. Over the next few months, Linda and I worked side by side. We visited Dad's old office, went through his files, and reached out to his contacts. It wasn't easy. Some nights, I'd break down reading his handwriting on old papers. But Linda was always there, steady and patient. We called the project the Collins Foundation for Hope. It started small, just one student the first year. But that student sent us a letter that changed everything. "Greater than, your support helped me become the first person in my family to go to college." I'll never forget what Mr. Collins believed in. When I read those words, I realized my dad wasn't gone. He lived in every life we touched. The final gift. One day, Linda gave me a box. Inside were some of Dad's old things, his watch, a few photos, and a sealed envelope. On the envelope, in his handwriting, were the words, "Greater than, for Ethan, when you're ready." My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a short note. "Greater than, son, life won't always be fair. But love and kindness will always matter more than pain. Build something meaningful, and I'll always be with you. Love, Dad." I sat there for a long time, holding that letter, tears streaming down my face. Linda put her hand on my shoulder and said softly, "Greater than, he knew you'd be ready one day. Moving forward. It's been 3 years since that day. The foundation now sponsors dozens of students across Oregon. Every graduation season, we receive photos and thank you notes from students who never met my father, but carry his dream forward. And Linda, she's still part of the project. We've become like family. Sometimes, when I see her smile at one of the scholarship ceremonies, I realize how much strength she gave me when I had none. My dad's death broke me, but his friend's request rebuilt me, piece by piece. Now, every time I visit his grave, I whisper the same words. Greater than, Dad, we did it. Your dream lives on. The end. Moral. Even in loss, love leaves behind a mission. Carry it forward, and you'll find healing.